And we continue. If you tune in now, we're doing a game character for a game. And if you're watching a video, this video, kind of right after I upload it, this character is not yet in the game. Link to the game you can find in the description if you want to try it, but I'm not sure I'd recommend it since it's pretty addictive. So if you want to be addicted to something, which sometimes we want that, probably you can try the game. So yeah, now we will continue working on the character, of course, his clothes or his accessories. Also, there are a lot of things we need to cover. So let's go to the body. Let's see the body alone. Okay, we have to disable the mask. And now I want to do this kind of a belt, which is going all the way. So I will go M, and without symmetry, I will just do this. And overall, what I'm doing is putting just basics of all the accessories and belts and everything now. And then I will refine them, but I want to put them on the character now. I want to see how they work. I want to see which one is over what and kind of arrange them. And then it will be time to refine them. It's not... I'm not refining them in the beginning. I'm not doing this like one belt and then refine it to perfection. No, I'm doing everything, putting everything together, and then I will refine. So this I will Q, mask extract, OK. Then go to sculpt mode, go to a normal brush, make sure only this is visible, and smooth it. Just smooth with the shift. Alright, this looks not quite good, but we will see. So now quad count, it's 100, and let's remesh it and see what happens. Alright, this is not half bad, although it's not the best ever. But if I go with inflate brush and just inflate it so it goes over the other things, it will be okay. Let's see from the back. Okay, it goes over this thing on his shoulder, so we have to take this thing on the shoulder, move it forward, and by the way, I think we should remesh it again, because now it has this kind of a stretch polygons here, so remesh it. Alright, it's fine, and I'll push it. Push this. Some people are kind of don't understand how I change between the meshes here in sculpt mode. It's just by hovering over what mesh you want to change into and pressing Alt Q. Alt Q. Alt Q. Yes. So I will move this belt, and I want this belt to be a little bit thicker. So I can do it in various ways. I can just go like this, then double click here and move it up. This will make it thicker, definitely. So this is one of the ways. You have to be careful when you're doing this kind of characters not to mess up the thicknesses or the widthness of the objects. So if you have a big belt, you have to make it big. Don't make it thinner than it is, because it will bite you in the ass. Especially in this kind of stylized characters, we have to do the things, you know. So here, the belt should be kind of straight, since it probably it's tense. It has some tension on the belt, so it has to be straight here, not following the curve of his chest or something. But we'll see how it will go. We will make it probably thick enough, so we'll see. By the way, why don't we just add a modifier solidify inward and solidify it like this. Yes. So This, I made it super thick. If you notice, I made it super thick. Why? Because I don't need this belt, this inner side of the belt, to be visible anywhere. So I prefer it to be ultra thick and go inside the body itself. That's a trick which we use, especially when we make characters for 3D print, because we don't want, especially small characters, because we don't want very thin kind of a belt things to come around. It's not nice. That's why, you know, I'm doing this. So now let's see how this will go here. I don't need to do this exactly, because here it will be covered by a bigger piece. Which piece, by the way, I can do by just duplicating this one, which I will do. Sometimes it's easier to duplicate already existing objects instead of making new ones, extracting new ones or something. Just make it from this, no problem. Let's do this. So let's go to object mode, Shift D, right click, and now it's this object. I will go to edit mode and delete parts of it. So I will go 3 and delete maybe this part, like this, oops, and in the back I'll delete here. Yeah, I think this is enough. X, faces, and we have this. It's not a good geometry here, so I will of course remesh it. I don't care. I can remesh whatever I want and how many times I want. I will go to object mode and just select some objects here. Maybe not those empty objects, but I will select those meshes which are hidden and delete them. Why? Because those are the meshes that we remeshed from, and we don't need them anymore. So that's why I'm deleting them. This, I have to increase the size of it. Okay, I have to select it first, then maybe I can increase it, then I can put it here, and basically I have to go to sculpt mode and move it around a little bit. Like this. Yeah, I like sculpt mode. I like to work on sculpt mode because it's more organic, especially for organic things, of course. When I'm doing those bottles here or the weapon in the back, it's not exactly a weapon, his accessory. Probably he's fighting with it, I'm not sure exactly how, but probably when we invite the designer, he can explain what's happening and he can show us some things probably. We can see if they allow us, I'm not sure they will, to see the page of this character in our Confluence. We have this kind of a inner thing that have characters, buildings, and everything is written there, how they work and what they do, and with concepts, with 3D when it's ready. Everything is put there, so it's kept in one place. That's what we will probably be able to see if it's allowed. Since this is kind of inside information, not that this character now is not inside information, it is, but I think we managed, if you are watching this in YouTube, probably we managed to get it to be released. That's what I mean. Yes. Okay, we have this, and this doesn't look half bad. So I will go to the body, by the way. And as I told you, I want to symmetry, and then I want to inflate this area just above the belt, because I want it to go over the belt a little bit. It will be interesting, I guess. I'm sure. It will be nice. I want the belt to be tightening his fat and it will be pretty interesting. Yeah, we have to make sure that some clothes have some effect over the body. Like the belt, of course, it's tightening the body, it's making it look like this. You see bulging above it. Pretty interesting, right? Yeah, I think so. I think it's pretty interesting too. Yeah, I assume you think it's pretty interesting, so yeah. I will increase this a little bit. Let me see how big it is. Maybe a little bit more. Yes. This will be the thickness of the belt. And since this belt is okay, but we have to make this part here in the front. So what I will do is I will select this belt, go to object mode, Shift D to duplicate it, right click to put it exactly where it was, and then I will go to edit mode and I will delete certain parts of it. Let's see which parts I will delete. I will press X. No, I will just control through here, and this will be what I don't delete. So control I and then X faces. So I deleted most of it. Control R to add this, and then I will A move it forward. I will show everything, and then with sculpt mode again, I will push this part without symmetry. I will push this part inwards so it goes invisible a little bit. Hopefully, we'll see. And those two parts, they can be one part, yes, but it's not needed. I mean, we better make it two parts. It's easier, and it's easier to control. And this kind of transition will be hidden below this part in here. Hopefully. Hopefully it will be. We'll see. Alrighty there. Alrighty there. So, about the low poly. The thing is, as much symmetry as we have, it's the best. Why? Because of the UVs. Since these characters are for kind of a mobile game, because this game is basically mobile, I play it on Windows, because it's on Windows Store also, but it's a mobile game, so we have our characters low poly, relatively low, around maybe between 7 and 13,000 triangles, which is pretty low for a game. Considering that Horizon Zero Dawn main character, which is the girl with big hair, only her hair is 150,000 triangles, which is 10 times, only the hair is 10 times a higher poly count than our old character. So yeah, I think we're okay. But since they are low poly and we have only one texture per character, so this character will have a texture 2048 by 2048, so 2K texture, we call it 2K. And that's why the more symmetry he has, the better quality will be everything. But probably we will see if we continue this and we will make, if we make the low poly and everything, which I intend to do, but we will see if there will be interest, because you know, those kind of serious things that we are doing, they tend to not be very popular in YouTube. But probably it's not about popularity. Probably I'm doing this for the people who will watch it, because most normal people will not watch this, since this is pretty boring. I mean, it's doing a character. Sometimes there are interesting things, like when we did the head. So the first video was pretty interesting, and then some of the other videos are not that interesting. They will be not very popular, I think, but we'll see. I will smooth a little bit those folds in here. Probably I will add another one here, but no. So for the folds, don't do parallel folds. This is very, very important. parallel folds are a no-no. So the folds has to be like this and like this. So there is an angle. They meet at an angle. They are not parallel to each other, which is okay. If you want to do a parallel folds, go someplace else. Don't do them here, okay? just don't do them. It's okay. I'm pretty fine if you don't do parallel folds. And also the folds which are close to each other, they shouldn't be the same size. One should be bigger than the other, and there should be variety, and this variety will give us more interesting models. If we don't have variety, we are done. We are done here. Thank you. I can do one fold in here, I think. Yeah, this fold is pretty interesting. But if I can make those pants symmetrical, pretty symmetrical, it will be very nice for me. Because the belt is not symmetrical, the body here is not symmetrical, the hands are not symmetrical, the head hopefully will be completely symmetrical, which will be nice. But there are a lot of unsymmetrical things on this character, and also his weapon is pretty big, so I will have a lot of difficulties making a nice texture for him, because the UVs, the islands, will be small, so I can put everything inside, and this will give us some trouble. I'm just testing here some things. Yeah, this looks relatively nice. We'll see. I mean, testing things. By the way, the pants are one of the difficult things that we have to do, because there are a lot of folds and we have to do them right. If you don't do them right, better not do them at all. Folds are difficult, especially for young artists, and even for experienced artists. I've seen people who are working and are 3D artists for a long time, for years. I mean, like more than 5 or 6 years. They are working in the industry even. They cannot do nice folds. So folds, you have to try hard to do them well. It's not like, there will be whatever, I will just put something there. Not exactly the case. Have to be very careful with the folds. Alright, this is starting to look nice, especially with the bulging above the belt. You see how it looks interesting. So, after Solidify modifier, we can add a Subdivision surface modifier and increase the subdivision to 3 at least. And then on edge data, on the Solidify modifier, the edge data, we can just sharpen it to see what happens. And see, now we have a decent belt. I will select the belt again and just increase it here, so we have this kind of a part of the belt is a little bit visible. The upper edge and the lower edge also. Yeah, this will give us a little bit of a nice silhouette of our character. It will be nice, basically. I like this. And the belt in the back should be straight. It shouldn't have this kind of a inward thing. But as you see, and I was surprised too, Blender is capable of making pretty complex characters. It's not that complex yet, but it will happen at some point. And I'm not naming my things, everything, because I don't think I need, at least for now. This, by the way, this thing here on his shoulder will be pretty thick, so I'll make it at least this thick. And when it's low poly, we have to make it a little bit thicker, because later, when we subdivide it, the thickness will change a little bit and it will decrease a little bit. So it's good to be thick beforehand. Okay, here with the hand, I'm not sure how this exactly will happen. I have to speak again with the animator. I asked her about it and she said that it will work probably, but it will stretch a lot, and since it has some kind of a pattern, And if he moves his hand a lot up, this thing here will stretch a lot. And with the pattern and everything, it will be bad. It will be pretty bad. Pretty bad. Yeah, my English is the best. Okay, solidify modifier again, no. Probably subdivision surface modifier with 3, 4, okay. And it's super soft, so I'll go to edge data again and increase the crease. But not too much, since this is a soft object. This is a clothed object, which is kind of soft. And you notice how the rim also, notice how the thickness is now a little bit, oops, not solidify. Yeah, you see how this was the thickness before, and now it seems a little bit not so thick. That's why I tend to make them thicker to start with, and then they are adjusted, no problem. Wow, I think it started to look pretty nice. Yeah, let's add a subdivision surface modifier here, increase this, and then solidify edge data, just increase it to around 0.3, everything. Also this one I will decrease a little bit, because, you know, also a beginner mistake is to make the edges of your objects too sharp. That's a very big mistake in my opinion, since when you bake later on the low poly, you have to have specular on the edges. And if the edges are too sharp, you will not be able to have specular there, because it will be like nothing here. And if the edge is like softer, then the light will be able to hit it and you will be able to see the edge. To have this kind of a nice specular going on the edge. And you see how this now is too sharp and you don't have specular at the edge. And it looks awful, it looks flat. That's why we have to be a little or even a lot careful. By the way, here on the arm, I think we can manage like this. It's much better, I think. I'm just fixing a few things, which I think will be nice to be fixed. Yes, they're looking fine. From this angle, I noticed that the arm is looking, especially the forearm, is looking too small for this guy. He's a heavy tank guy, so I think his forearm should be pretty huge. Even in the concept, I don't think it's big enough. I think it should be bigger, like Hulk a little bit, you know. Big wrists, big arms, everything big. Maybe we can make his arms a little bit shorter, I'm not sure. But they're pretty huge here also. They go all the way up to his knees, and also we have that. Here, the legs are a little bit small. In our model, I made them a bit bigger, and yeah, I think it's okay. Let's go here, add a subdivision surface, 3 edge data, to 3, to 3, okay, and it's a nice belt. Maybe this belt could be a little bit sharper, so 0.4, and here we go. Looks decent. This also we can add. Oh, this doesn't have the modifier on. What's happening here? So we don't have a modifier. Whatever, I will add a subdivision surface modifier. And if we don't have a solidify modifier now, how do we sharpen? Okay, let's increase this to about 4. And then we go to edit mode. And now we have to select those edges with double click on them. Hopefully we'll be able to select them, yes. I will try to select all the edges. And then we'll press Shift E, of course. Shift E, and increase like this. It's nothing too much, but it's fine. Yeah, I don't want to increase it too much since I want this to be kind of soft. Okay. All right. I just threw my phone because it was making some interesting noises. But yeah, I will go to sculpt mode and continue sculpting it. Of course, now we want, for example, to make the edge of this, to make this kind of edge. How to do it? Very easy. We go to edit mode, and then we add here one line. We add here one line, and then we add here one, and also in here. Oops. And then we will extrude those lines, and it will happen. How to extrude them? I will go to 3 and select this one, control this one, control this one, control this one, and control here. Selecting in Blender is very easy. Then Alt-E, extrude faces along normals, and then extrude them. Not too much though. I don't want it to be super extruded. And now let's see what happens. It looks decent. Probably we can refine it at some places, but it's basically decent. All right. I can go here and move this. I don't want very sharp angles, as I told you, but no, I mean these angles here. These angles here, I don't want them to be very sharp. So what I need to do, I will tab, then I will go here and double click on this edge, X, dissolve edges. This will give us this, okay. And now I will go and in sculpt mode, I will start moving this because I should. And yeah, some people will ask me, how do you work that fast in sculpt mode? How do I know my shortcuts? That's very important. It's very important to know the shortcuts. If you want to know your shortcuts, if you want to know how to start sculpting, not only modeling, because modeling there are a lot of courses, although I can make a little bit of a course in modeling too. I mean video on YouTube. You can check out my videos. I have a video how to start sculpting in Blender for beginners. Also, I have a course, full course with a mouse. I make one cartoon mouse, very nice by the way. Blender for absolute beginners and making characters. So if you're a beginner and you want to learn how to do this, yeah, it seems easy in when I'm doing it, but it's not exactly that easy. It's easy for me because I spent hundreds and a couple of hundreds hours in Blender, and before that I spent many hundreds hours in other programs like trademarks and ZBrush especially. I spent thousands of hours on. So yeah, this helps, but you have to be ready, of course, always to spend some time, you know. So this looks kind of nice. It's not the best, it's not the worst, it's okay. We will kind of deal with it later if we want. I told you I want to make them, those things, just the basics of them. I don't want to make everything refined. But we have this, it looks okay, it looks fine. So we can continue. So how do we make this chain, by the way? I will make this chain by absolutely manual. I will make, because it's pretty big, there are few links. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 or 10 links. I don't need to make a curve and put the chain over the curve and try to refine it. No, I will make it absolutely by hand. And how to do it, I will first start by making one link. And how to do one link, you will ask. Let's see how exactly looks this link, how it looks. Okay. I think we can start from a plane, like always. Go to object mode, add a plane. Okay, we have this plane. How to do it from there? Let's go to edit mode on the plane and just make it a little bit smaller like this. Okay, then add one line in here. All right, then I will grab those and put them here. So now we are starting to see something here. Yes, okay. Now I will inset. Press A to select everything, press I to inset, and insert it inward. Hopefully this will be good. I think a little bit more. Yeah, like this. Okay, let me think. Alright, so next, Control R here, and then move this up like this. Alright, it's kind of done, I may say. We can delete those, X, dissolve edges, no, L, X and faces. And now we have to mirror it. But before mirroring it, I will rotate it like this. Minus 90 degrees. And then I will move it and add a mirror modifier. And then clipping and move it in like this. And it will clip. And now you see this looks a little bit like a chain link. Of course, we have to adjust the thickness of this chain link and to see what will happen. Probably it should be thicker. Why, you will ask? We want to make it thicker because I don't know why. No, I know why. Because of the low poly. The thicker those chain links are, the easier will be to make the low poly. If they are very thin, we have to cover them, all of them, and the thicker they are, they will make a kind of a one whole mass. So we have to make it thicker, but probably it will be in the other video, because now this video is 32 minutes. I tried to make them shorter, those videos, not 1 hour or something, just shorter. So I think it's cool. We made kind of a nice progress, and let's save it. Alt S, Control Shift S, plus save as. Cool. So yeah, see you in the next video, of course.